Hey there, hope you all are doing well as we start this Memorial Day weekend. I am almost done with your ad evaluation essays. I should have those completed here in the next hour or so. I just have a few of those left. A few comments on that. First of all, make sure that when I give you feedback on your drafts like I did this week, that you use the feedback I give you towards your final project. There were a lot of essays where I saw the same errors that I had pointed out in the description and analysis that I had returned to you earlier in the week. So make sure that you are downloading those files, looking at the comments, and using those to help you as you move forward with the final product. Another thing that I noticed, make sure that you're following directions carefully. I had a few of you that focused on the product rather than the ad, and some people did not choose a print ad and tried to choose a video ad, and I had discussed both in the assignment and the video last time that we needed to use still ads. We couldn't use videos for this project. So make sure that when you review your essay assignment that you do take note of all the specific directions and follow those very carefully. So the next assignment we have coming up is an article evaluation. So you'll be doing similar things to what you just did with your ad, but this time you'll be working with an article. So to help you with that, the first thing you need to do is think about what the differences are between scholarly, trade, and popular articles. Scholarly articles are typically peer-reviewed articles, meaning that other people in the field have reviewed them and made sure that they are accurate and contain good information. You typically will find them in scholarly journals. To access those journals, you're going to need to use our school's library. You can access the databases online. The username and password for those databases is available for you in the library resources section of our course site. You should not be looking on Google or Google Scholar for these articles. Go to the library's databases, okay? There are also trade journals. Trade journals are not scholarly journals, but they are specific to a particular field. For instance, I read education journals. They're specific to what I do. There's one that's specific to community college English instructors. So they'll often cite some research, but a lot of times they're going to be shorter articles, not as in-depth, but they'll use the kind of language that people who are in the field would understand. And then we have popular articles. Those are the things that you find out there on the general internet. If you do a Google search, if you go to a news site, those are your popular articles. So scholarly articles are going to typically have a lot of cited sources. They're typically not going to be as fun to read. None of us are sitting around thumbing through scholarly journals on the weekend for fun for the most part. Scholarly articles are not going to have a lot of pictures. They'll have some charts and graphs. Things are typically going to be black and white. And when you compare that to popular articles, with popular articles you're going to see ads, color photos, short paragraphs, easy to understand vocabulary. And I'll be adding a PowerPoint to the week 3 folder this week from one of the librarians that she's used with one of my seated classes to help you better understand some of the differences between these types of articles. So for the essay that you're working on, you're going to want to choose a scholarly and popular article on a similar subject, and then we're going to work with the scholarly article for this essay. You'll need the popular article a little down the road for another assignment. So you're going to pick out a scholarly article. You're going to describe it. So you're going to give a summary, meaning that you should read and understand it, and then give us a brief explanation of what the article is about. And then you're going to analyze it. You're going to look at the characteristics of scholarly writing, see how it gets its point across to the audience, and you're going to need to give some examples from the text here. So this is a good time for you to brush up on your quoting. There is some help on that in the text, and I'll give you some feedback on that when I look at your initial drafts that are due on Tuesday night. Of course, as always, you have the option to turn them in earlier, and I'll try to get them back to you earlier. I know a lot of you do like to work ahead, so I'm trying to turn things around as quickly as I can. A couple other things I'll mention as you work with your articles. Names of articles go in quotation marks and should use title case, even if they are not, even if they don't have capitalized words in the publication. We still use title case when we refer to them in our essays. Names of publications, like names of journals or newspapers or magazines, should be capitalized and italicized. When you introduce your authors, For this and any other time you're referring to authors, make sure that after you introduce them, you do refer to them by their last name instead of their first name. We're not on a first name basis with these writers, so we want to make sure that we do refer to them by last name. And when you give your examples from the text, make sure that you quote properly, that your quote is anchored in a sentence, and that you do cite that properly. There's help in the text with that. If you run across any situations in which you don't know how to do that, let me know what the specifics are in an email, and I'll be glad to get back to you about that. The last thing that I wanted to mention today was mother tongue. You all had some good responses to the discussion board last week. I wanted you guys to read this for a variety of reasons. First of all, I wanted us to think about standard English and what that means. We know that we're expected to speak a certain way when we are in a job interview or in a work situation. We know that our academic writing is very different from the kind of writing that we do when we want to send a text or send a casual email to a friend. But the way that we speak is very much part of who we are. It tells about our family, it tells about where we are from, geographically speaking, it tells about our culture, and it's a very important part of who we are, and it's a very important part of our personalities. That said, as many of you are aware and referred to in your post, we're judged for that. When we speak, people make assumptions. They make assumptions based on class, intelligence, all kinds of things. And it's unfair and it's unfortunate and it's often incorrect, as we saw from the account from Amy Tan. But nonetheless, it happens. And one of my goals with this class is to help you all to be able to put that best foot forward when you need to. So to be able to pull out the academic writing for your essays, the professional writing for your resumes, and those speaking skills when they're necessary. But I want you to understand too that I'm not here to judge you based on the way that you speak or even the way that you write. I'm going to give you feedback on your errors and help you correct them and make things better. But please understand that that's not any kind of a value judgment, that we are trying to learn to use the proper English, the standard English, whenever we can. Nobody speaks in standard English. Nobody. We just don't. But when we're writing, we need to do our best to put that forward. So those are all the things that I had for you today. I am, like I said, almost caught up on your grading, so I'll get that finished up as quickly as I can, and I'll be looking for your article summaries and analyses to come in over the next few days. I'll get them back to you as quickly as possible. I hope you all have a good and safe holiday weekend. I know a lot of you are working through this holiday weekend as well. If you have questions, as always, please send me an email. If there are any topics you would like to see covered in the next video, you can certainly include that in an email or include it in your checkpoint for next time. Take care, and I will be back with another video for you soon.